Hello everyone, my name is Steven and I am now a second year dental student. Boy, that is exciting to say. Welcome into the video. This is actually going to be sort of a retrospective looking at my second semester of dental school, what has happened so far in the year of 2021. If you're new to the channel, I make videos about my experiences in dental school, and I'm starting to kind of branch out to some of the other areas of my life. So if you're interested in anything that is going on here, make sure that you subscribe and also let me know if you enjoy this video. So I am actually home in Nashville, Tennessee right now for a small summer break, which has been absolutely wonderful and very, very needed. And I decided to film outside here in the backyard of my parents' house because it's actually like 70 degrees this morning. Surprisingly, it's been very hot and muggy here in Nashville so far this summer, but we had some rain yesterday, so now it's very nice. And I wanted to film out here because it's just nice. So in this video, I'm gonna do what I did last semester after I finished up there. I'm gonna give you a kind of a full recap of what happened this semester. I'm gonna talk about the lecture stuff, I'm gonna talk about the lab stuff, and then I'm gonna talk about some of the things that happened outside of school, kind of the social life, the life as a dental student, living alone and doing all those things. So we're just gonna get into kind of a recap of what happened this semester. Overall, I would say that this was a tougher semester in pretty much every way than the first semester was. I think in retrospect, the first semester was actually a lot easier than I realized at the time. The first semester was getting us into the swing of dental school, and it was kind of an adjustment period for a while. But honestly, looking back, we didn't have a ton to do for school compared to what we had this semester and compared to what we will have in the future. I actually had quite a bit of free time in my first semester of dental school, and it's kind of one of the reasons why I look back and I wish I had started making YouTube videos earlier because I had so much time. This semester, school definitely picked up and the lab work also picked up. So the main reason for school, like the lecture portion of dental school picking up, was the addition of gross anatomy. Gross anatomy is widely considered one of the more difficult courses that we take in dental school, and this semester we had gross anatomy as its own big giant thing to do alongside of all of our other courses, which there are plenty of other courses. And gross anatomy basically enveloped the first couple of months of this semester. So while I was studying for all of my other courses like physiology, growth and development, operative dentistry, occlusion, all these other classes, I had gross anatomy as its own thing over here, which I was studying every single day. And I guess this gets into the question of what do you think was most rewarding from the semester? For me, the answer would actually be gross anatomy. Like I said a second ago, gross anatomy is considered one of the more difficult classes that we take in dental school just because of the sheer amount of content that we receive. And honestly, I ended up doing quite well in the course, which made me very proud of myself. It kind of just showed me that I can in fact do all of this. I feel like sometimes I talk myself into I'm not as smart as some of these other people and maybe I'm not as well equipped, but gross anatomy went very well for me, and that was just a wonderful experience because I put in so much time to that class and I genuinely enjoyed learning it. So our anatomy class ended sort of mid-semester, and once we got through that, I feel like I and the rest of my class had this feeling of accomplishment, and we also kind of felt like the semester is basically over. And I can confirm that it was definitely not over at that point. We had so much more to do, and I almost feel like it got more difficult for me after that point just because all of our other classes began to ramp up a little bit more, and it was really just like you have to finish strong and you need to do it now. But in retrospect, I ended up doing pretty well this semester. I actually ended up getting better grades than I got in my first semester of dental school, which was very, very surprising for me. I expected to be like below a 3.0 GPA, and I was a little bit above that, which was great. My GPA isn't extremely important to me. I don't plan to specialize. However, I do take pride in my work and I want to do as well as I can. So just getting better grades this semester than what I got last semester was once again very surprising and also made me feel quite good. As far as like my studying is concerned for all of these courses, I think nothing really changed. I did fully go Anki all the way. I used Anki for every single exam, and I think it was probably one of the reasons why I did really well. One thing that I'd like to do, and it's always a goal, is to be more diligent with my Anki and to actually study the cards that I'm creating every single day. And that just gets tough at times. I think once we have an exam, I want to just like relax and take a breath, and I kind of let the cards go for a while, and that means they build up. And so it's really a big exercise in diligence. But that's pretty much a basic recap of like the coursework this semester. Like I said, it was tougher. I think it was a bit more challenging. It was a bit more information, but in the end, I was able to do quite well, and I was happy to come out of it all pretty much unscathed. I will say there was one course that was extremely small that gave me quite a bit of trouble. In dental school, it's not like undergrad where you have courses that last an entire semester. A lot of our courses last the whole semester, but some of them last only a couple of weeks. And that was the case for a course called Cardiology that we had. It was essentially a new course that was replacing some of the content that was kind of salvaged from other courses, just discussing the development of dental caries. And honestly, we had 2 exams during the semester that covered it, and then a little bit on the final. And I kind of wrote it off for some reason. I guess I just didn't really think that it was like as important to do well as I should have. And all of a sudden I found myself in a position where I actually was kind of looking at failure. I ended up doing way better than failure in the long run. But I think the lesson here is if you have a small course like that in dental school, do not write it off at all. If you have like a couple questions on a test for it, those points are extremely valuable. So you want to try to do as well as you can. I think for some of the bigger courses, it's actually kind of easy because you have a buffer. You can do bad on one exam and still be completely fine in the course. But for this one, you had to do well on the couple exams that we had. And that's just something that I learned and now know going forward. So the lecture portion of things definitely ramped up this semester, but that wasn't the only thing that ramped up. Our lab section of the curriculum also ramped up quite a bit, and there were a couple of reasons for that. The first thing was, once again, gross anatomy. So gross anatomy had its own lab, which we were in 3 times a week, plus tutoring on the weekends. So the mandatory lab sessions were 3 times a week, multiple hours per session, and then everybody had the option to do tutoring every Saturday or Sunday, which pretty much everybody did because it was really, really helpful. So that meant that you were in the lab at least 4 times a week, and then during exam periods, you were in the anatomy lab for extra lab time where you could just go in with your classmates and kind of just learn more and discover what other people knew. And that was in addition to all of those other lab sessions. On top of the gross anatomy stuff, we had Occlusion Lab for probably the first half of the semester, which was honestly pretty great. I think my whole class loved that. It was very relaxed, kind of very calming lab. Our teacher was awesome. She played music all the time, and occlusion in general was pretty chill as a subject. And then of course we had Operative Lab, which went all the way through the semester. We had 2 major modules. I talked about this in some of the videos along the way, but we had first an amalgam module where we learned how to place amalgams, and we also kind of perfected or got closer to perfection on our amalgam preparations. And then the second module was composite, which probably was more difficult for me at first, but by the end I think I kind of got composite pretty well. So that was a lot of lab work that we did this semester. It was certainly more than what we did last semester, probably not as much as what we're going to do this semester. In our second year, in my D2 year here, we're going to definitely do more lab work. I think the lecture work stays about the same, if not getting a little bit more, but the lab work definitely takes a ramp up yet again. And I think that's one of the difficult things that I've heard from some of the older students about our D2 year. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play out for me. But the lab work was pretty great. It was challenging as always. I've talked about lab work in the past, and I think it's just one of those things that you grow and you learn as you continue on in dental school. You will get better at it. I promise you're not always going to be bad at lab work. It's just something that comes with time and with practice. I personally noticed that I got so much better by the end of this year, just with a handpiece in my hand, cutting basic preparations. I got a lot quicker, I got a lot more efficient, and some of the things that I couldn't do in the past, I just could not accomplish, I was able to do with relative ease by the end of this semester. So that's your call to action, to just keep at it, put in the extra time if you need to, and I promise the skills will come with time, with practice and dedication. Now let's talk about the third thing that surrounds dental school to me, and that is just sort of your life outside of dental school. This includes your social life, your fitness, your mental health, all of these things that surround life as a dental student. The first thing was social life. So one of the big regrets or things that I didn't really like about my first semester of dental school, which you can see if you go back and watch my first semester retrospective, was that I didn't really get to meet a lot of my classmates, and I felt like there was not really any social aspect to my first year. This semester, I actually felt like I got a lot more connected with so many more of my classmates than I had been in the past, and that was extremely rewarding for me. One of the cool things about dental school is the camaraderie. You're in a class full of around 100 people, and you're all working towards this common goal in a very niche profession that not a lot of people go into. So meeting the people around you that are going through all of this with you, it's extremely rewarding, and it's was honestly awesome at the end of the day. This semester I was able to meet and start to build relationships with a lot more of my classmates. And it all started in anatomy. Gross anatomy lab, even though we were split 50-50 in our labs, they had us split in 2 sections. It was an opportunity to actually really spend a lot of time with the individuals that were in my class. And for the first time, I really started to have conversations and build friendships and relationships with some of the guys that I worked with in my lab group, and just some of the people in general who were in our room who were going through the same very difficult course all together. So that's where it all started. We also had a lot more social events this semester. Obviously COVID is starting to kind of wrap up, thank the good Lord. And we're getting to a point where it's a lot easier for us, especially down here in Tennessee, to have social events and to start to build relationships. So I was able to go out with my classmates multiple times and just see them in a setting outside of class, which was extremely rewarding and a lot of fun. And it's really awesome to just get to this point in life where we are almost full professionals now. And even though we're still in school, we're starting to kind of experience life as adults and as people of society, but we still had a lot of fun, and it was just a great time, those times that I did. So I look forward to continuing to meet all of my classmates and to get to know them, because we do still have 3 years left together. And then I look forward to seeing where they all go, where they all end up practicing, and who specializes, who doesn't, who opens up their own practices, who does what. It's going to be fun. As far as everything else was concerned, for me personally, I really just have continued to enjoy life as a person who's growing and just gaining perspective. I've gotten extremely into fitness. It's something that I'm very, very passionate about now, and it's something that I think has allowed me to just experience life in a lot more of a full way, and I've really, really enjoyed that. So I'm looking forward to talking about fitness in the future. I think it's going to become a much bigger portion of this channel. I will always do dental school and dentistry content. That's what I came here to do. But I really want to bring fitness to this channel because it's really made such an impact on my life, and it's something that I think I can definitely share with all of you that will enrich all of your lives. So I was able to maintain my fitness. I was able to run at least 50 miles a month, and then towards the end start getting back into lifting weights again, which has just been really fun, really awesome. And it's such a relief from school. I've talked about it in pretty much all of my vlogs, but there's nothing better than being able to step away from the desk during a hard test period and just work out, take your mind off things, and just relieve stress. That's what it all comes down to. Also, this YouTube channel has been amazing this semester. I think it grew quite a bit just this semester. I don't know where my subscribers were at before this semester, but I was definitely under 1,000. So this semester I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I actually am now over 2,000 and almost to 3,000, which is just incredible. So thank you all for all of that. And it's just been so fun to document all of this. I can't believe, actually thinking about the videos, it feels like the semester went by really fast just looking at the videos I made. So some of those early videos, like my dental kit video, it kind of almost feels like I made that video yesterday. So time has flown and the channel has just been growing, and I'm so excited to see where it goes. I'm gonna continue to do the vlogs. You guys love the vlogs when I'm in class and in school. I think this semester we're actually going to have classes in person, like lectures in person. So I'm really excited to bring my camera in and kind of introduce you to more of my classmates and just show you what it's like to be a student, because I feel like all of my videos have just been a guy sitting in his apartment doing all of this stuff online, which can get kind of boring, I think, at times. But I'm just really excited to see how this channel grows and how my relationship with all of you continues to grow and to flourish. It's something that I've really enjoyed, and it's become kind of an extension of who I am, this content creation. So I'm really, really excited to see where it all goes. So let's wrap it up. I've been talking for absolutely ages. This semester was filled with unique challenges. It was new in a lot of ways. It was tougher, but at the end of the day, it was, I think, actually more rewarding. And I think that's probably, looking ahead, going to be something that I take away from my second year of dental school. More difficult, but more rewarding. I can't believe that I am now a second year dental student. I spent so much of my life looking ahead at becoming a dental student, and now I'm on to my next year, and it's really crazy how quickly time flies. My greatest advice to all of you is to cherish every moment that you possibly can, because time just absolutely soars by, and it may not feel like this if you're in high school or you're early in college, but I promise it has absolutely flown by for me. And that's something that I continue to experience as I get older in life. And it's been the same situation here with dental school. I'm pumped to continue on with school and to get closer and closer to finishing up. I'm really pumped about actually getting out and working as a dentist and experiencing all of that, actually impacting other people's lives in a positive way. But I'm really excited about all of it. And hopefully you guys are going to be there with me for every step of the way. If you'd like to be, make sure once again you subscribe to this channel and join me in this journey. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, and let me know where you're at in the comments. Let me know if you're about to start dental school or if you're still in college, still in high school. Whatever you're doing, just let me know. I'd love to hear about it and discuss it. Thank you guys for all the wonderful things that you did for me this semester, for growing this channel, for continuing to help me experience all of these new things and to do it all under my own power. I just appreciate every single one of you. And I'm really, really excited to be a second-year dental student here on YouTube and to show you all the experiences that come with that. All right, guys, I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you next time.